The presentation of today's racing program is a copyrighted broadcast of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated. Any rebroadcast, recreation, or retransmission of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated is strictly prohibited.
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please stand for our national anthem. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Aqueduct. Mostly cloudy skies right now. The temperature will be around 50 degrees. Main track is muddy and the turf courses are good. And we have a carryover in today's Pick 6 of $61,000. There are no changes in races 1 or 2. In the third race, scratch number 8, My First Grammy. Race 3, scratch the 8. In today's fourth race, scratch the also eligibles 13, Built to Last, through the 16, Devil or Angel. Scratch 13, 14, 15, and 16, and race 4 will start the Pick 6. In race 5, scratch number 7, Nurse Ratchet. Scratch the 7, Nurse Ratchet. Sixth race, no changes. In the seventh race, scratch 13, Looking for Trouble, through the 16, Big Brown Shoes. Scratch 13 through 16. Today's eighth race, the Winter Memory Stakes. Scratch number 2, Bleecker Street. Scratch the 2. We have a couple of equipment changes. Number 10, Invincible Gal, runs with blinkers off. Blinkers off the 10. And number 12, Flown, will run with blinkers on. Blinkers on, number 12. And in today's ninth race, note that number 7 is 1 pound over. Main track muddy, turf course is good. We'll be back at 11:50 to reprise the changes. First race post today is 12:20. Up next, Sterling and Stabile. Talking horses.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Talking Horses. He is the big A, Anthony Stabile. I'm not. How are you today?
I'm doing all right.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Apparently, I'm one of the few people that didn't have any.
Whatever.
memories last night.
So anyway,
Whatever.
silly, but pretty incredible results in the card yesterday. I think the most amazing thing about the win of the feature was that, normally when a horse on paper that doesn't look competitive and the horse upsets in a turf race, you expect it to be about 5 or 6 of them across the wire. The horse got an absolutely perfect lucky trip, and 3 major players had tough trips. This horse actually had the toughest trip. Not that he had a tough trip, but he had the hardest trip. He was wide. He was really 3 wide the whole way around the track.
Everybody ran their race.
And he just, I guess he improved on the course was listed good. It was yielding. They went 139. Maybe he just loved the going. I don't know.
But I think your point is,
he just ran.
More often than not,
they're lucky when you see the horse
correct.
like that.
There's
no luck involved there.
Bigger degree of good fortune, and the fact of the matter is, Rinaldi showed his speed and got loose on the lead. The Flavius and
Flavius, he wasn't going to win. The winner was best, but Flavius showed the risk of riding loose pockets. When you ride loose pockets, you risk happening what happened to Flavius. What happened to Flavius was the horse that was stalking, the 5.
Right.
When that horse dropped over, the horse dropped back, he dropped over, and he backed up into Flavius's face, and he lost position. He wasn't winning the race,
right?
But
I think the point is these horses all ran their races.
Well, pretty much.
And this horse.
I think the point is that the winner ran very, very well.
Yeah.
And I have to think the turf condition has something to do with it, but congrats to Connections. That was one of a number of tough races. I don't think the last race is a surprising race to see sort of an odd result because nobody in there
had one horse that
run
decent enough, but the rest of the field was unreliable.
Yeah. They were extremely unreliable. Head over to Naira Bets if you're not a member of Naira Bets.
That's reliable.
It is reliable. Bonus 200. And we will match for $200 of your initial deposit. Go to nairabets.com for more information. We have a 100-100 bonus, Woodbine and Delmar. Okay. Get a $20 bonus. You bet 100 and more on both of those tracks. You have to opt in. Make sure to opt in for that, Anthony. Also, carryover, $61,096. Races 4 through 9. Sort of amazing, all the people that hit the pick 5. Most of them involved singles involving the 2 favorites, though I have no idea why that Todd Pletcher horse that won the turf race was a big single in the turf race, but a lot of things elude me. No, that's not correct. We're not on from 11:30 to 12, but we are on from 2 to 5:30. How could we be on from 11:30 to 12? What are we going to do? So that's Nosferatu?
Sounds like that may have been just
yesterday.
A little copy and paste from yesterday.
Yeah, no, it's 2 to 5:30 though. We are on. All right, race number 1. There is not a lot of form to go on race number 1, and my general feeling was they were going to make next Tuesday a heavy favorite here, and I'm not taking a heavy favorite in this race, so I picked against, you picked on.
I did. I picked on. I'm going to get a pair of blinkers for start number 7. I didn't see anything too clever in here. I could be wrong. It would not be the first time, but I just thought a pair of blinkers for a horse that was a little more forward last time. I know they didn't go all that fast.
Are blinkers in the 7th start probably just a desperation move?
Could be.
Okay. What are the stats on those? It's pretty bad.
It could be.
Not that he can't win.
Yeah.
He hasn't done any running in his races, and the truth is this is not dissimilar to yesterday's last race, where you have a horse that's done no running in any dirt race, and his first race was his best race, and now he's going to be 6, 7 to 5 probably in here by post time because people just won't know where else to go. I won't be shocked when he wins. I'll be fairly surprised if Amazing Dream wins, and he's going to take money just because it's Todd Pletcher. This horse hasn't lifted a hoof in 2 dirt races, not a hoof.
Like I said, I had nothing clever in here.
Yeah, I think there's more going on in this race.
Obviously.
The 3 SOS is an interesting horse to me, simply because he's faced considerably better horse in his 2 starts. And the other thing is, his buyer figure in his debut of 36 puts him right in line with everybody else in here. And he's going to be a much bigger price. He also was bet a little. To be 13 and 12 to 1 in those races, frankly, he could have been any kind of price in those races, especially up in Saratoga. So he took a little bit of money. He's not a turf horse, gets back on the dirt and drops down significantly. I thought he was an absolutely interesting use in here. And I think you don't want to just dismiss the entry. The 1-8 took a little money. I know he ran poorly in there, and he ran one of the restricted races, but he did chase wide that day. And I don't think the rail was a huge advantage, but I do think the rail was the best place to be in October 29th. So I thought Royally Blue ran, might be a little bit better than he ran. And I just feel like this is a race where people are going to default on horses like the 7 and 4. And I suppose the 4 could win. I'll be surprised, but the 7 certainly could win, but it just felt like it would be a dramatic underlay, and you should probably be looking to go a little differently. Race number 2. I'm assuming you went back to V pattern?
I did. Just dropping down, finally getting the drop, cutting back from the mile to 7. This horse...
Well, is a mile to 7 going to matter to him? He's done no running at 6 and no running at a mile.
This horse...
I mean, distance can't be relevant, right?
Obviously, this horse did not run well last time. And that's obviously very, very...
Never run well, this horse. I mean, he may win. Trust me, I'm not...
But I'm hoping the best top is the drop here. And I would imagine that as many times as Blitz to Win has disappointed, finally got the job done last time out. He is out of the Gold Panda race.
Isn't he going to be short just by default in here?
Shouldn't he be short just by default in here?
No, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a problem because you start going through. I mean, you've got the 1 El Mayor 4th. I probably should have him somewhere simply because clearly there's something going on with Von Vasquez. He had a horse, run off the screen here a couple of days ago. He had a horse yesterday, was very lucky to win. But nonetheless, he didn't just win. He was also bet like he couldn't lose.
Yep.
So
that was paid $6.
It seems like right now those horses in that barn are really, really running. So I don't, he did run twice on a maiden special weight, but I think they are a barn you have to use. V pattern can win, but my gosh, he's never done a stitch of running in his races. That's the problem. He's never shown speed. He's never made a move. He just, right? I mean. Right?
I don't really have an argument for it. I'm just hoping that the drop. I mean, it's not like this isn't the toughest bunch he's going to face.
Yeah, but the problem is they're sort of cop-out picks. I mean, Dan Miliano, 3 races back, will show his race. I guess he ran a race that will win this race, but the problem with this is it's the only effort that got it done.
At the very least, it was for the tag. And it was with some moisture in the track. And there is some moisture in this track. Track's labeled muddy. And I would imagine that by the time the second race comes, there'll still be some moisture in it. And this horse...
Is it muddy, though? I'm guessing it's muddy and harrowed.
Yeah.
So I don't really think it bears any semblance to this. And it's not as though his other wet track races he did any running. So it's just, as we usually expect with wet tracks, random. It doesn't really matter, right? I mean, it's not going to hurt him. It's not going to help him.
Haven't seen him for 3 months.
He's uninspiring. I mean, I'm not saying that he can't win here.
Andy.
David's got top of the min as the favorite. I got a stat. Did I put up the stat? I didn't think this horse would be a short price, or I would have put the stat up. We have lots of stats here. First of all, we have V pattern, okay? Horacio de Paz. He does have good numbers, maiden special, maiden claimer. Found a surprising number for Linda Rice, because we think of Linda winning with so many second-time starters. It's a cue, Francisco. No, we got another stat. We got one for Linda Rice. That was...
There it is. It's up.
Francisco okay today?
You're asking me. I tried to talk about it.
Bad day for him today. 28% with 40 starters. First-time starter maiden claimers in the dirt at Aqueduct. I mean, would you have bet this was like 3 for 40?
And I'm going to tell you something about this stat in particular.
Okay.
There was a time where Linda's barn was like 0 for 35.
Not correct.
With first-time maiden claimers, not at Aqueduct, overall. Mm-hmm. And it's in that stat.
I don't know about that. Because Linda's always had good numbers with mile first-time stars at Aqueduct, so I'm not sure about that. But I don't think so, but okay. I got to use that horse on that. Top of the mint, I didn't put the stat up. Mark Hennig, 250-plus days in the dirt, 0 for 16. And 6 to 7 of them were short odds horses.
This horse was off 3 months and dropped in for a tag for the first time and then was gone a year. This horse may very well come back.
I don't want any part of this guy.
I want nothing to do with this.
Especially
if
short
David
price.
thinks this horse is going to be the favorite.
Yeah, if he's a short price, to me, he's an automatic bet against. Could he win?
This is one part of the conversation yesterday. I will not use this horse in my pick 4 and pick 5. This horse will beat me.
No interest in using him. as far as Gray Giant, he was an MTO yesterday. The race stayed on, obviously. This horse's last dirt race, for what it's worth, is a very strong race. A lot of horses have come out of that race to win and run well in subsequent starts. He was live yesterday. Arguably, this is a possibly better field than yesterday, but I think he's kind of interesting, and he's not betting bet with these connections. And
no, he's not.
I'm not afraid of anybody in here. And honestly, I think if this guy runs his last dirt race, the race 2 back, and I like cutting back a little distance, I think he's at the very least a major, major player in here at a big price, and that race 2 back is better than it looks. So I'm happy to bet on the number 6. Was it Gray Giant?
Yes.
Third race. The third race. I copped out. I took the obvious horse. Take a look at Aban in here. I don't know why I'm supposed to bet against this guy. I mean, he's the speed. He lost to Cold Hard Cash, who's pretty good. I don't know. Why am I supposed to bet against this guy here?
Unless you, I mean, his horse is obviously on all your tickets. Yeah, I mean, he stretched out nicely last time, almost got the job done on the front end. Yeah, nothing not to like. The price is going to be terrible, but there's nothing not to like about him.
Yeah, I'm looking. Okay, so what's the deal with?
I just took one shot to a horse that I've bet some money on, and
you didn't bet him last time. We bet against him last time.
I used them. You just kind of hope that his running lines suggest. I'm saying suggest that he'll want some more ground.
No, his running lines suggest actually he's a much better dirt horse than turf horse.
Well,
no, they
that
don't.
too. But we don't run mile and 3/8 races on the dirt.
But that's silly because he could go a mile and 1/8, and he wanted a mile and a 16th in his win.
What
so,
I'm saying
with an
is
87 buyer. So let's talk about reality for a second.
If you think like me that more ground is going to help him, he almost has to.
Why is more
on
ground going to help him?
Well, he's kind of turned into, and even the race he won, it was a dawdling pace. He's kind of a plotter, Andy. And
he's not a plotter. Not a plotter at all.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay. Obviously, Chad Brown believes that this is a turf horse. And the reason probably to take him here or use him is some sort of confidence in one of the best trainers in the world, he believes. Because the reality is that this does not look like a smart move by Chad Brown running this horse back on the turf.
No, it kind of looks like
because this horse's first race.
Desperation's the wrong word.
It's not desperation because this horse has. No, you're missing the point. I'll get to it again. This horse has run well in the dirt. This horse actually didn't run badly in that race at Saratoga. He was getting a lot of dirt kicked in his face. Tough race to close. Tough turf course to close. And I'm perplexed as to why Chad hasn't run this horse back in the dirt. He obviously believes that this is a turf horse. I don't agree with him, but I respect him enough that I would use him.
So you think there's zero chance he thinks this horse just needs more ground?
No, yes, yeah, no, he thinks he thinks this is a turf horse. Okay. I know what he thinks. Okay. I actually know what he thinks.
And you don't think that goes hand in hand with him running this horse a mile and 3/8?
The race came up. I don't know. He took a shot. I don't know. But I don't think he hasn't. I can guarantee you he hasn't been going, I got to get this horse stretched out to 12 or 11 or 12 furlongs. No.
Okay.
Having said all that, he did gallop out strongly last time, which probably is something to be taken into account. It was a pretty tepid pace. He didn't lose a lot of ground. That was a rail time. That was the opening weekend, and you wanted to be on the rail on the inner. But he was in the 2-path. He wasn't really wide, so he didn't take all the worst of it in there. I don't know. I'm respecting Chad and leaving him in, but I'm going to tell you right now, if this guy runs badly, he better never run on the turf again, because this is silly. Because at a certain point, you've got a horse that, on his speed figures, is clearly faster on dirt.
Well, he is clearly faster on dirt.
Yeah, I mean, he is. I mean, doesn't mean that he's not going to run today, but I don't know. Anybody else in here? I mean, Gloucester, Shearer? I don't know.
No,
this horse doesn't seem very good. I didn't think the races this horse ran against. I guess lost to one okay horse over in Europe, but tend to see these.
Haven't seen too many flinchers over there come back here, right?
Here's what I don't understand, and I'm sure I'm missing something. We hear a lot of talk from Barry Irwin, who runs Team Valor, that he doesn't like American racing, that he doesn't like the drugs that are used in American racing. He's going to run horses in Triple Crown races. I'm serious. And he denigrates the racing here all the time, which is his prerogative.
I find it comical.
This is a turf horse he brought over here to run in Lasix. That seems a little hypocritical to me, but I could be wrong. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you.
A little hypocritical?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. Maybe experience will improve with distance. I don't know. The figs are too slow. I mean, maybe Giroux will improve with distance for Mike Maker.
He ran.
I'm not against.
Jonathan Thomas ran experienced a mile and a half in his second start.
Right.
And he only got beat 3 parts of a length. Now it was against straight 3-year-olds. It was a Pimlico. There wasn't that much substance to that field. That Wooten Asset's a little bit better. Is okay.
It's okay.
He's a knock around, mid-level stakes horse, but
It's not, there's no killers in here.
Yeah. No, there's
and
not.
Giroux is stretching out. I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to be surprised if I copped out with a favorite and there's more interesting stuff going on. We'll see what happens. Race number 4 kicks off the pick 6, carry over $61,000 in here. I did what I never like to do. I picked Buck or 2 again. We'll take a look at the last race because as I said, carryover. Frisco's really on his game today, isn't he? Jeez.
it's like 7-second delay.
You in quicksand back there?
7-second Cisco.
Yeah, there you have it. Let's take a look at a replay. I'll count to 7 for that. A buck or 2.
Nope, it's wow, right up.
He's right. He's picking things up.
Fingers
back
on the
there.
pulse.
Oh, Kyle almost woke up.
I like the
So
autumn
excited.
backdrop of Aqueduct. Do you like that little
I
pic?
like it a lot.
It's
I do. I
beautiful.
think it looks really good. I know it wasn't Francisco's idea. I bet this horse last time it was a brutally annoying beat in here. I just thought the horse drew well towards the inside and was the logical of the ones that ran the turf. And I wouldn't say I copped out, but I don't know. I didn't want to go against again today. I just think he might be the best horse.
I took the 2 firsters against him, but yes. he's
Which
the most logical
firsters
of the
did you
runs.
take?
The 1 Whistler's Honor and the 9 My Friend Duke.
Okay, these tips or these?
No
crazy
tips.
ones? Okay, go ahead.
No tips. There's just not much. I didn't.
Well,
I
why
didn't-
did you pick them?
I did. You're going to stop doing this.
But you
You're
said
gonna
there's not much.
You're going to stop asking me if they're tips.
No, but you've had a lot of tips lately.
You're going to stop.
But you've had a lot of tips
You're going
lately.
to stop. And then when I go to say why I'm going to pick them, and I start with talking about not liking the other runners, that is part of the reason.
What's wrong with
I
the other?
picked the
What's
first
wrong with
time,
the other
but
runners?
There's nothing. I didn't
3
particularly
and 5?
prefer Buck or 2.
Why?
To steal yours, I thought last time might have been the time.
Okay, that's fair.
He can win. He can win. But he didn't overwhelm me. He did not bowl me over.
but he's a maiden claimer.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not a maiden claimer,
Yeah.
but he's a New York bred maiden.
Right. He didn't. So
overwhelm you? You want to
I'll
glue a sleep over
I'll
him?
go to a barn that does win first time out with Whistler's Honor.
Tonalist, 6 furlongs, first time in the grass?
That's a little troubling.
I mean, that's a little bit
and
ridiculous.
I thought about putting my friend Duke on top. I do not have a friend Duke. This horse is working well. Now, I have not watched, but this horse has a couple of gate works from a barn whose horses ordinarily do not work quickly. And I'm wondering if this horse, with Jose Ortiz aboard, and we've seen Dave Donk reach out for Jose with some firsters in the last 6 months, and most of them have been forward. So I'm wondering if this horse has a little speed. Now
I'm going to look that up on Formulator.
Now
You better
we're gonna-
hope that it's correct.
We're going to deal with the fact that there's some
So
moisture
Jose
in the ground
Ortiz
here.
firsters in the last 6 months for Dave Donk that had speed.
I just feel like that
Okay,
a lot
I'm
of
going to guess that's not true, but
I'll.
I'll admit on Twitter that you were right.
Okay.
When I find out it's right, it's correct.
So I just wanted the 2 firsters. Obviously, of the horses that have run, Buck or 2 looks like he has a decided edge. I know
No,
he
he's a
doesn't
decided
Sandrone.
edge. I mean,
Well,
what, he hit the wire with Sandrone.
right, but didn't Sandrone have a much better go of it than he did? I thought I thought of that field.
Yeah, slightly better trip. I don't
Sandrone
think he had
kinda
I think they both ran fairly well. I mean, you could also argue that Sandro was close to the pace, and the pace fell apart. So I don't know. I think
Fair
it's
enough. That's fair
fairly a
enough.
coin slip. All right, I didn't see the horses you did, but that's fine. I think a dangerous horse in yours, Call My Banker. This horse took a ton of money first time out. Is a half to 2 horses to win the turf. Not particularly good, but as much turf pedigree, if not more than most of the ones you played, which is fine. I mean, it doesn't mean he's going to run. This horse took a ton of money, was 4 wide against a gold rail last time.
This horse took a lot of money first time out.
This horse is a very interesting horse in here called My Banker, and I'm going to use him. And, I also want to use He's a Stone Cold Fox, and we'll show that horse's, I think, first turf race. Where he beat a number of players here. Last time out, he didn't stumble. He sort of stumbled. He sort of bobbled forward a little bit last time. And I don't know. He ran so badly last time, and now he's going to be a price. He breaks from the outside. I think that he's going to run better today. He's Stone Cold Fox, and he's just going to be a big price. I mean, you have to admit, you liked him last time.
I did.
And, and I don't disagree. His first race was good. Do I want to completely dismiss this guy because he came back and ran so badly last time?
But
Maybe he was cranked up for the first time. He'll never run it again. It's
Right.
possible.
yeah, it was such a big price first time too that you know, he won't be 50-1. He won't be, what was he last time? 3-1.
Isn't the other Abreu horse first start? I know that Irad's on the 1 and Manny's on the 6.
And that
but
played
isn't
a role.
Wine,
That played a role.
I'm sure, but the problem is that you're going to get a third the price because of that. So price does come into play.
I'll use them. I didn't want to leave the runners completely off the pick.
Okay,
so.
but forgetting about that, whether you use them or not, it wasn't really about you. It was more about the horse. The Dam was 1 for 12 in the turf, did run a 79 buyer in the turf. There's one horse that didn't try the turf, wasn't very good, but this horse is a Freud. I don't know. I mean, to me, forgetting about riders, isn't the 6 way more interesting from a pedigree standpoint?
I
If
guess.
you want a Jorge Abreu first-time starter?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, to me, it's as simple as that. I didn't love either one of them, but I'd go to the other one. Race number 5. Number 5. Wow, you went to...
Took the ship.
You just like the name, Double Doink? What is Double Doink?
I don't know. There used to be a wrestler named Doink the Clown,
Really?
which I was terrified of because I was terrified of clowns.
I was going to say.
Yeah, Doink the Clown. You know,
I don't know.
I
so
did not,
I want to know.
I was kind of over the Subiacos and the Violent Tricks of the world. This filly comes in and she brings some consistency to the table. I don't know what happened 2 starts back.
Well, she hasn't run in 5 months, so I don't know if consistency is the word I would
she
use.
has some consistency, and she has a lot of gapes, and a lot of gaps in her form, and I get that. But she went to the bench, having won 3 or 4, and you know I'm going to bring up her wet track form. And there's going to be some
It's not
moisture
going to be
in this
relevant
track.
today. And there's a problem because there's a more important constant with the races that she's won.
If they were at Parks?
No. What's the difference between the 2 races she's run and every other horrible race she's run, which gives her absolutely no chance in this race?
I don't know.
Really? There's not something different about the 2 races that she won than every other race she's ever run.
Well, she's won 3 races.
Okay. There's not something different about the 2 races she won that's different from every other race. The 2 that give her a chance. You like her for that 50 buyer win at Parks?
No.
Okay. She was in front.
Fair enough.
She was controlling on the front end.
She's not controlling here.
And she's not controlling here. So that's a problem for me. I listen, I get it. She's a new face in here, and I totally get what you're saying. I think that's a very valid point.
I probably slept that
That
point because
worries
she
me a
won
little.
from off the base, but
That's
you're
what
not
worried
wrong.
me about
You're
her
not
here.
wrong.
You know, and because I think you're right. You look at this field and you go, man, I'm going through this race, and I just am so. I mean, yeah, Violent Trick can win. We'll go back to I think Monmouth. Somewhere, I don't know, July.
Huh.
That's the problem. You go back to July
Yeah,
in
go back to
Monmouth
July to find
with
the race.
Violent Trick, and you got 2 lousy races. Reclaimed by Wayne Potts, who is the one who trained this horse when she won here, and that kind of interests me about her. But I can't argue with you, Anthony. Subiaco, though, is off
Juan
the claim for Juan
Vasquez,
Vasquez, and we've seen 2 straight days or 2 races
Quite
this week.
frankly,
I'm scared to death of everything he
the only
runs.
reason this horse is third because
Yeah.
another horse who you see.
Oh, I don't like this horse at all on paper. I agree with you. Yeah.
On paper, this horse is a tough pill to swallow.
Yep.
Almost rather take a little shot with a horse. Well, you have the other part of the entry, but yeah, almost rather take a little shot with the entry. But the way the barn's running, you can't leave that horse out.
You know, there's a reasonable chance that Foxtail just can't run competitively anymore. And I'm not, once again, going to argue that. But, I mean, she is taking an absolute plummet in class.
She is.
Getting blinkers on. Jose's not supposed to fool around with her. Just do what she did when she won races. Send her to the front. I mean, Irad rating her last time was one of the silliest things I've ever seen. She obviously wasn't going to win, but she certainly wasn't going to win not going to the front in that race. Just go.
Can't Sweet Mia give her some fits?
No, she can't run with her if she really wants to go.
But hold on a second. Are we convinced Foxtail still has that speed?
Yeah, I mean.
Okay.
I'm not.
If you believe Foxtail still has that speed, then she's
I'm not
she can be
worried
3 in
about
front.
that.
You're right.
She's faster.
I don't believe she still has that much speed, and I believe that makes her a little vulnerable to a horse like Sweet Mia if Sweet Mia comes out of there running off the stretch out. But if you believe that she still has that speed, yeah.
We're going to move
you're
on.
good.
We got 4 more to go. We got to take a break. We got a stat?
Huh.
We got a stat? Oh, yeah, Sweet Mia. Well, here's the thing. Charlie, we love Charlie. His numbers off the claim in
At least
Naira
it's
are
a
not
current
good.
picture. No, it's not, but...
It is a current picture. I
I
like
said
that.
at least it's a current picture.
He had a
My
suit
point is
on.
not that she
He's
can win.
Cheering home, joking, or what?
Joking. My point is there's a
Last
chance
time you
that...
saw Charlie in a suit?
if Foxtails doesn't have that speed anymore, she can give us.
You think there's a
trouble.
possibility the last time Charlie wore a suit was when we took that picture?
No, I saw Charlie wear a suit at one of the stakes over the winter. I can't remember which one.
Okay. You don't think that's when we took that picture? You read it longer?
I'm sorry?
It's got to be the last 5 times you wore a suit. 3 times, right?
Five.
Sure,
I mean,
right?
you can't get action on 5.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll be right back.
In the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. The Big A, Anthony Stabile and Andy Serling, race number 6. Okay, here's one for you. You want Brew Pub? Because there's an argument he's kind of the horse to beat. There's some little bit of pace in here, etc. And this is him, I think, 2 back. Yeah, 2 back, finishing second in Big Brown Shoes. I don't know, man. He's 0 for 17 with 10 seconds and thirds. How can you pick this guy?
I put him third. I can't do
Can you
it.
pick him? I mean, he can win.
Can't.
But, oh, man.
Barn changes in for a tag, stretched out turn. I mean, they've thrown the kitchen. We want to talk about a kitchen sink. This horse has been hit with all of it. And
Feels like he's been
able to
around
find the
these
winner's
maiden
circle.
conditions for a long,
Yeah, a long time, man. He's only, you know what the scary thing is? He really hasn't. He's only 3.
No, I know. Yeah, but he's been running a lot, so he feels like he's been there
17
longer.
races, Andy, and as far as the last 12, no layoff line.
Okay.
So he's really been around.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, lighten me on 40 comments.
Right.
What'd I miss?
I don't know. His first 2 starts, he catches Gold Panda first time out.
Yeah, but he got beaten by 5 lengths by Got the Gold.
Okay, yeah, it was his first start, and he was 33-1. He obviously outran his odds, and then he came back.
He beat 11 lengths. A lot of us beat 11 lengths on 8th.
He came back, and I thought, I mean, what was Fenway that day? 2-5. He was the second choice into Fenway. I don't know. I thought maybe a couple of races under his belt.
But then he lost to Scherzando,
Now
who you've got
he
4th.
got beat a length.
But he
got beat a
lost.
length
But he
to
lost
him.
to horse who picked 4th.
He got beat a length to him.
Okay. All right. I didn't see him.
Third start of his career. I don't know.
Let me ask you a question. I know he's coming out of a maiden 25. Are you worried about Swinton wiring the field?
Yeah. Well,
He's fast.
I am and I'm not. But I guess the shorter answer would be yes, I am. But that was a bad bunch of horses.
It was. It
That
was.
a bad
I
bunch.
agree.
At
That's
the
why,
very,
that's why
at the
I
very
didn't pick him.
least, I mean, at the very least, he had an abundance of speed.
You know, BC Glory Days, if he wins, I guess John Hero kind of got it wrong, right? And I'm not saying he got it wrong because he's only run this horse at
Well, he kept running
a mile.
beyond them. Yeah, he kept running.
You know,
them.
and the problem with him is the best race he ever ran was his debut, when he absolutely should have won and was,
Right.
buried in a pace and ran extremely well. Now he draws outside with other speed. He has to stalk in here. I'm hoping he's the best horse in the race stalking. I don't have a lot of confidence in him, but I put him on top in this
That
race.
was part of the reason I picked the horse like 40 Comets is,
I don't get 40 comments, but
well, the 2 horses that I think he has to beat today are 0 for 17. And BC Glory Days, who has not come back to his debut.
That's fine. I didn't think he's done any running in his races, but you disagree, which is fine. Race number 7. I guess they're going to make War Terminator the favorite in here. If there isn't at least an honest pace in this race,
There's a problem.
then there's something going on here that we don't know about. And listen,
There's
this is
4
War
horses
Terminator's
that can be part
last.
of the
This is
pace.
War Terminator's last race, where he ran well to finish second here. And I think I have a stat for Jonathan Thomas. He's got good numbers off 4 to 8 month layoffs in the turf.
Yeah. It's weird, too, because this horse, we haven't seen this horse now since May 1st. This horse came back in 16 days after his maiden win. So it was a quick turnaround
Yeah.
and right to the bench.
Make a great point. I've been talking about that.
This horse ran well. I mean, this horse, I thought he ran well on his debut.
Maybe better at 6.
I thought he ran really well here, yeah. And, able to kick. These are really good numbers if you're looking at a horse like this. I do wonder
He's 5
how,
for 11 with sprinters, by the way.
I do wonder how short he is. I'm not saying he's going to be 8 to 5, but he's
It's not going to be more than 5 to 2.
he's
is he?
likely the favorite here, right? I mean,
Yeah.
do they go for some recency? I don't. And
Listen, Stanhope's got
Yeah.
crazy speed. He's got to let him roll. King Andrew's got to stalk him. I mean, honestly,
but you have wild cards.
the
and you're
obsession with turf with King Angelo is puzzling because he was in a race that got rained off a couple weeks ago, and I would say it was a vet scratch, and maybe he was. I wasn't here, but the fact he's back 2 weeks later means I probably wasn't a vet scratch. He would have galloped, and it was the race that won by the horse I teased you about, your horse, Bad Guy.
Yeah.
He'd have galloped in there. I mean, he'd have won that race by a city block. He's a better dirt horse than he is a turf horse. Now, if maybe the answer is we want to get him on the turf one more time for whatever reason, and we're going to leave him here this winter and run him on the dirt, oh, okay. This is a pretty good dirt horse. I mean, it's a pretty good dirt horse who really has not gotten a chance to do what he wants to do.
He ran
I
an
don't get
85
it.
when he was second on the dirt.
He ran huge
How
that
many
day.
New York bred races is that going to win here?
And he ran huge.
A lot.
I mean, he was pressed the whole way. I thought he ran extremely well in his debut. 7 furlongs, didn't break, rushed up into a wicked pace. This horse is a better dirt horse. It's a fact. I guess he can win, but he's got to stalk Stanhope in here, and it's not like they're the only speeds, right?
No.
I mean, Samay, I can't imagine Luis Rodriguez Castro's not going with him. Kendrick, what's he going to do with Thunderbird Cafe? He's got to be forward from the rail.
From the
I mean, I'm
rail
saying he's
especially.
fastest, those horses,
Right.
but he's got to be forward. Gangi Fat Choi, you think that horse is going to grab and snap?
Has to
Maybe
go.
they all are.
Stanhope.
I'm
Stanhope
going to take.
might be faster than all of them.
I'm going to take Uncle George on top. I prefer the Recency. You know, I've never liked this horse, to be honest.
I know. I'm surprised by
Well, this horse ran well last time. This horse broke a length slow, which we'll show you. See, he breaks and back. Now he's got to start breaking. King Angelo was not. By the way, King Angelo was not a vet scrap last time.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve. Crazy. Anyway, he got left. I mean, this horse is completely and totally buried in traffic the whole stretch, and Irad never has a chance to ride this horse.
No. Completely buried. He was fresh gelding this day, too, coming off a 50-week layoff.
Poor guy.
So now with that race under his belt, and I mean, you'd have to think he's going to get it. You'd have to hope at the very least
Look,
he gets a clean. I mean, he's
Irad's
he's
clean and
eating him.
wide.
He's eating him for almost an eighth of a mile at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that's why you got to get closers. You got to be careful going the inside.
Yes.
Now listen, once he got left, and Irad, I'm not blaming Irad at all. I
you're
mean, I think
calling
it just
audibles left and right.
Hope
at
he got
that
a little
point,
lucky
right.
at that point, and maybe he didn't realize how much horse he'd eventually have.
Problem,
in
you
there.
know what the big problem with him now is, Andy? He's drawn inside, and I would imagine he's destined for a similar ground-saving trip.
Javier will get him out. I'm going to
Okay.
believe in Javier. We'll see. I don't believe in him getting the same bad trip 2 times in a row.
I think Thunderbird Cafe is a horse that I kind of feel like you need to include this horse, though. You have him fourth, so you don't, and especially if he's going to be a good price.
Got him
He
last time.
improved like a lot of horses for Linda Rice, second to first time out. He showed first to second time out. He showed more speed. He comes back off the May break as a gelding.
He's got to really improve off that race, though.
He does. He does, but what's to say?
No, he's not impossible.
No.
I agree. I don't think Cotton's impossible cutting back in here. I think there are a lot of horses that can get a piece in here. I don't think King Angelo is impossible. He's just a dirt horse. I don't think Saratoga Flash is impossible cutting back. If you think this race is going to come
I'm going to
apart.
give you another horse that I don't think is impossible, would need to improve, but certainly could. I think Giramonte. Giramonte's form in his last 3
He's
starts.
in good form.
I'm
He's
sorry?
in good form.
He's in good form.
I'm not going to knock
and
him.
he's going to be, in a race where we said there's almost got to be some speed in here. He shouldn't be that far off of it where he should be in good position.
Well, I don't agree with that. I think the way I would put it, but we can disagree, which is fine, but is that if the pace doesn't get as fast, he won't be as compromised as some of the others. That's the way I'd put it. I don't think if the race gets really gets heated up front, I don't think that's to his benefit.
Okay.
But we disagree. Race number 8, Anthony's co-opted my horse. It's okay. You can have him. I know. Okay, you can have White Frost. You can take her from me. I don't mind. You can. No, it's okay. You can. Let's talk about the number 11, the Runaway Rumor.
This guy's saying I took a Bill Mott horse from him.
Well, you took this one from me, but that's okay. I mean, I've been touting
This
her
would be
for
like
a year.
I've been telling you
this
took
one
a
I was
Clarence horse from me.
ahead of the curve on you on this one, but that's okay.
Outta here.
You didn't pick her first time in the turf, so.
No, I picked Freedom of the Press. I picked
I know.
Seth's horse.
I know you picked. I know you picked. Exactly you picked. Anyway, Runaway Rumor ran very well. I mean, I think that Jose was kind of realizing in the backstretch that he needed to be closer, and he made that mid-move. But he also ended up wider than Fluffy Socks, who smartly was more forward to begin with, so got the better trip. I'll tell you one thing, though. Plum Ali got buried in the inside in here. I think that Plum Ali's going to run well in this race.
Yeah, I was a big fan of her as a 2-year-old. I'm off.
I think she's going to be more forward in here.
Okay.
And I think she's going to run a lot better than you expect. I think there's a good chance she beats the 11. Runaway Rumor is just, I don't like the post for her. She's got to work to make her trip. She's going to be probably the second choice behind White Frost. I don't think she'll be favored. I think White Frost will be favored. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, wow. David has Runaway Rumor
He has
favored,
the
huh?
same price.
Okay.
I think White Frost is the best, was potentially the best 3-year-old turf horse in the country last year. I mean, she didn't have a good trip in here. She was put out of position. They weren't moving up front, and she just swooped and just ran down Con Lima. The horse who's third, Domain Expertise, came back and won a stake at Tampa in her next start, running down a loose the lead Todd Pletcher horse. This is a very, very nice filly. The problem is, though, you know, this one, as you'll recall, this one came back into training with Speaker's Quarter and Forza d'Oro back in the summer when we were at Belmont. 'Cause I remember you told me that Leanna told you, Leanna Wilford, the assistant to Bill Mott, that because we like this horse, we were wondering, I'm teasing you about stealing it from me, I know you like her too. And we liked her, and you asked her. And so this horse was back in training in like
I want to say
June.
I want to say two separate occasions. I want to say in June there was a little mishap before Saratoga, back in training at Saratoga.
And you have to worry that these horses just aren't going to come back be as good as they once were. That's what worries me.
Yeah.
If she is, or she builds on it, she's going to probably win here. But I don't.
If she runs as
Supposed to
well as
build
we
on
think
it.
she can run, she's going to win this
She's
race.
going to be tough to beat. Well, I mean, the 11's not bad. There's
No,
some,
the 11's not bad. I'm going to tell you another horse.
Cherie's horse.
Gam's
We'll
Mission.
look at her. We'll look at her winning the regret.
What's wrong with this filly?
Anthony Iver second.
Yeah, no, I know, right? I mean, you can even argue that the last two races, maybe. I know her
This
biggest,
is the regret.
Her biggest fig was in our.
I think she's
Belmont
better with less
Invitational.
distance.
Less distance. I think you could. I think that that's in the PPs.
This was a
at this
paceless
point.
race.
And she just
And
kept
she made a
coming,
really
kept
nice
on
run.
coming.
No. This horse is a major player.
Major
here.
player, right?
Major
Cutting
player
back
here.
to a distance that she seems to fit. It seems to fit her a little bit better.
Cherie's had a good year too.
Had a great year,
Yep.
right? Winning at almost 20%. Yeah, this filly makes a lot. See, I almost thought, Andy, I wouldn't be surprised if she's second choice to White Frost.
No.
Okay.
Runaway Rumor has. Runaway Rumor's got a 91 buyer second at grade 2
You
last
don't
time.
think the post is going to scare people off?
Nah, she's good. Runaway
I know
Rumor's
she's
good.
good. I'm a big fan of her. I just think the post
I'll be
might scare
very
people
surprised if Runaway Rumor's not the first or second choice.
Okay.
I mean, David's got her 9-2, so it's not like he particularly disagrees with you.
No, right.
No. I mean, that's fair. Okay. Maybe you're right. I don't know. Maybe you are.
off. I think the post is going to scare people. I do with Runaway Rumor. I do. It's the reason I put her second. I thought the price.
If I were Dylan Davis and John Velasquez, I'd want the lead with either Mr. Karras or Invincible Gal. Invincible Gal's been too far back.
You almost have right, and then
Gotta be forward with these
one's
guys.
in post 7, one's in post 10. You almost have to.
Mr. Karras is not impossible
No,
here,
she's
by
not.
the way. Her race 2 back was okay.
No, she's not. And she
You know,
has a
Hurry's
win.
improved.
She has a win here at Aqueduct, over ground, with some giving it. So
All right.
it's an interesting race.
It is.
There's only a couple of
winter
horses I think
memories.
would be tough to make in here, but the rest of them all have a license.
I
Fun
guess
race.
Chad Brown saw the PPs for Bleecker Street against this field, and he said this might be a little tough.
Yeah.
It did beat a $16,000 claimer at the Meadowlands last time, for what it's worth.
A little slow.
What about Batia? I mean, she had some talent as a 2-year-old.
She did.
Won her debut.
This is, it's funny. You say to yourself, I'll run her back I'll run her in the Winter Memories, 150,000. I don't think you can imagine it's going to come up this tough.
It usually does. There's nowhere else to go. Don't forget, there's no
No,
Mrs.
what I mean is he could have run her in any other end.
No, right, I know, but don't forget, there's no Mrs. Revere this year.
Right.
And
right. Yep.
so everybody's got to come. This is it. This is it.
Right. But knowing that, that would almost think he has some confidence in this filly, right? Knowing he can run her in any other end.
I would agree.
And now you're going to run her against she's running against graded stakes horses here.
Oh, this is a grade 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
A grade 2.
Absolutely. Right.
100% grade 2.
Yeah, with Plum Ali,
I'm
Gams Mission,
going to tell you right
Frost.
now, this is a far more competitive race than the Saratoga Oaks. Far more
Top to
competitive.
bottom, no question
Far
about it.
more competitive.
No question
race
about
than
it. No question
With
about
all
it.
due respect, this is a far more
I
competitive
agree.
race. These are
I
better
agree.
horses. Listen, Higher Truth was second in there, and Runaway Rumor slammed her last time with a tougher trip.
Yep.
So it's a very, very good race. Named for a very good horse. How many races stakes do we have named for Phillips horses? A lot of them trained by Jimmy.
I have it written down because when we do the tours, when we do the tours of Breakfast at Belmont, when we're on the tram and we pass the Jimmy Toner barn, I rattle them off.
So
we haven't done that for a year and a half.
They're not all Jimmy Toner.
No,
I mean,
they're not.
Phillips horses. There's Plenty of Grace. There's Winter Memories. There's Soaring Softly.
Yep.
There's the Memories of Silver.
Yep.
That's 4 right there. I think there's at least
He
one
was
other.
not Wonder Again, right? Wonder Again was somebody else. Was that them?
Yeah.
So that's Wonder Again.
100%. Winter Again, 5.
That's 5.
Yeah.
I think there's a 6th.
Jimmy trained Winter Again.
What, Jimmy trained Wonder Again. Yeah.
That was a Phillips horse. Yeah, for sure. It's all the same family. They're all related.
So that's 5.
For sure.
I think there might be one more.
It's amazing. Race number 9. We'll close it out. Okay, you've taken Dobbs. Excuse me. I'm not feeling great. I'm knocked out. Dom's feisty girl.
You guys can, we go to race 9, Cisco.
Francisco's doing worse than I am up here. I actually slept a reasonable amount last night. I'm just tired.
You know what this was
Why,
anyway?
why do you like Dom's feisty girl?
I don't know, off the trainer changed last time. She kind of won in a common gallop, didn't she?
No.
Oh, okay.
She beat a terrible field with a 58
She beat a
buyer.
terrible field the right way. I mean,
She did?
hold on a second. Okay, so save Rainbow Gal. What's the 58 buyer get her here?
Nothing. But anyway, a 58 buyer will not win here. But that's fine.
Okay.
I mean, you like her. For what it's worth, not a great move. Off a maiden win dirt sprint in a claiming race, Michelle Nevin 1 for 8. 6 of them were short, only 3 hit the board, 82-cent ROI. I didn't think you'd pick this horse, or I would have put that stat up. I don't know. I didn't like this horse. Okay, that's fine. I thought last time was the time for her. Rainbow Gal's dangerous, right?
Yeah. No question about it.
I mean, back channel. I don't know if she can run anymore.
But
Back Channel.
Back Channel has races that would annihilate this field. As
She also has races that would get her nothing.
As underachieving as she was, those races would bury these
But
horses.
her dirt form was pitiful. And then she won that funny turf race with a slow pace. And
Andy, those races in October and August, the 78, the 83.
yeah, but
I
the
mean,
last 2 dirt races she ran are
the
pitiful.
last 2 dirt races are not good.
They're
But
pitiful. They might actually lose to your horse, which is not good.
I guess.
I like Bonus Baby. Let's go back to January 1st, the second race of 2021. A great moment. She runs this race, she's going to be tough. I think she runs the Did I Stutter race, she's going to be tough. What happened to her the next time after this? I don't know. I don't remember. I had to look it up to see if she's wide.
Why do you run her on turf all those times?
Because it's dope. Sorry, Jeremiah. But she ran one credible figure of the turf and 5 bad ones.
Oh,
he ran her
Lord.
long. He shipped her down to
Oh,
Laurel
my
to run her
God.
long. It wasn't like he needed to go to another place.
Wow,
He just shipped her in a van.
Snap called that too. There wasn't even a hesitation. You didn't even think of that answer. Zero thought.
Jeremiah and her friends. He's okay. Listen, I tried to help Ray handle yesterday, you know?
We got the other maiden into the winner's circle.
Who?
He beat. Didn't he beat the Kimmel horse? Ricky's.
That was not Kendrick's best moment on the Kendrick Kimmel horse. For a guy who's known to be aggressive, nursing that horse along. Now, maybe Kimmel
Oh,
told
he
him to ride that
let
horse.
my horse go. I thought maybe my horse was going to steal away on top of the
Just
stretch.
go away in the top.
JT's the donk horse.
Nobody else thought that. But anyway, that was not the ride you would have expected that horse to get. I think the Bonus Baby is very interesting getting back on the dirt.
Okay.
And
How did we do at lunches yesterday?
you won 5. You got the luckiest win in the history of racing. My horse dueled for the lead the whole way. Your horse never lifted a hoof and
right,
ran it
moving
down
the
right at the
time down
wire.
the speed again.
But
That
you
was
know
fantastic.
what? Listen, when you're Anthony Stabile, you got to take those wins when you can get them because you're going to get so blown out going forward with the lunches. You got to take it when you can
we
get
have
it.
nothing today, right?
Nah.
So what do we end the week at?
82.
82. So I gained,
Right where we
I
started,
gained
basically. You gained 2. You're right. No, you gained 2.
All right, it was a
Big
good
week for you. Big
It
week
was a
for
good
you.
week for me.
Big week for you. Anyway,
Good
we're
week.
done. You need to go over to Naira Bets. Where else can you have this much fun?
I don't know.
Head over to Naira Bets. And we'll give you money. We'll match you with $200 your initial deposit. You have all this fun. We have to find out which Calumet horse that horse is, Anthony. Anthony, that's your job. Got to find out who that
It's
horse is.
here, right? I mean, we're confident it's at Aqueduct?
Yeah.
Is that Aqueduct?
Look at the background.
Right. There's the water tower.
The house. Isn't the house a dead
The
giveaway?
house is a dead giveaway, yeah. Okay.
100, Woodbine and Delmar. Good thing you handicap those cards, Anthony. Opt in. $100 each or more at them. You get a $20 bonus. Pick 6 carryover. Starts in race 4, $61,000.
Thousand.
If we don't have a new slate for America's Day at the Races, don't show the one you showed before. We're on from 2 to 5:30 today.
Simple.
We're not on now.
We went
With
from
no
Andy-
races to show.
We went from Andy Sterling to Andy Slate. You're the Slate.
There you go. There you go. Anyway, we're
Mr.
done.
Slate. Remember Mr. Slate from Bedrock? He ran the quarry for Fred Flintstone.
I did not remember that, but you're correct. I
know.
wonder where he got his name. We're done. Johnny I's up next, the reprise of the scratches and changes.
Hello, racing fans, and once again, welcome to Aqueduct. Mostly cloudy skies here at the Big A. The main track muddy, the turf courses are good. We have a pick six carryover of $61,000. No changes in races 1 or 2. In the third race today, scratch the 8, My First Grammy. Scratch number 8 out of the third. Race 4 will kick off the pick six, and in the fourth race, scratch the also eligibles 13, Built to Last, through the 16, Devil or Angel. Scratch 13 through 16. In race 5, scratch number 7, Nurse Ratchet. Scratch the 7. No changes in the 6th. In the 7th race, scratch 13, Looking for Trouble, through the 16, Big Brown Shoes. Scratch 13 through 16. The 8th race, the 6th running of the Winter Memory Stakes. Scratch number 2, Bleecker Street. Scratch the 2. Number 10, Invincible Gal, races with blinkers off. Blinkers off, number 10. Number 12, Flown, runs with blinkers on. Blinkers on, the 12. And in today's 9th race, number 7, Lucky Sitka, is 1 pound over. Right now, the main track muddy. The turf course is good. We have a pick six carryover of more than $61,000. The Sunday opener at Aqueduct in 28 minutes at 12:20.
I think when people watch it on TV, they think that it's just a rich man's sport and there's nothing else involved. But when people actually come into this side of the sport and they see, and it puts a lot of dollars